Hi and welcome back, my name is Emelie. In this video I will be creating two cards using a technique where I'm just taking paper pieced some scrap paper and paper piecing them to create a really fun background pattern. And to help me make those cards stand out a little bit more, I will be using a couple of new dies from Trinity Stamps June release. You saw me here already have been cutting out the Swirly birthday die, as well as a couple of letters from the modern embossed alphabet. You could see the whole die set there in the beginning as well. So here you can see my paper trimmer. This is my handy paper trimmer. I have a really large one as well at the side of my crafting desk, but this is the one that I like to use when I'm doing stuff like this. It's really easy to see exactly where I'm cutting. So you can see I'm just cutting a couple of pieces of paper into stripes here, and I will do that for all of my colors that I will be using here. I'm using, I don't know exactly which colors I'm using of cardstock because I have a variety of brands and thicknesses and stuff in my stash, but I just use whatever I have. You can also, if you like just starting out with card making, you can also go to the kids section and look for thicker papers. You can basically use whatever you like for this technique because it doesn't need to be thick. It's just here to create a little bit of an interest to our background. So you can see I am taking glue to the back side, and before I'm doing that I'm just slightly cutting them to an angle, and when I'm happy with the angle I will glue them down. And I will speed this up a little bit because otherwise you will see me do this forever. So I believe I sped this up 4 times just so you get a little bit of a faster view of this. So I'm tucking them nicely together just to make them fit across my panel here. So I'm making sort of a zigzag pattern here, cutting, and then I will glue one at a time in place on my card base here. So I had a blast doing this. I really think it's super fun. You can see at some of the stripes I messed up which side I was going to use, so I'm just using adhesive eraser. So that is also a tip if you're like me, a little bit of a messy crafter. And then I'm cutting away all of the excess, and then I have the leftover pieces here. I took them and filled in the space that I had on my card base here, just to make them look really full and to continue the pattern. Then when I was happy with everything, I took one of the Trinity Stamps dies and cut my panel down to be able to fit on top of a slimline pattern panel. And then I cut happy out of 2 colors of teal cardstock, and I'm gluing one on top of the other and creating sort of a shadow on this piece. I just think that looks really nice and it makes my card stand, or sorry, my letters stand out nicely. So I'm speeding this up and I will continue doing this for all of my letters. And when I'm done with this, we will also adhere our sentiment down to the card, or to the actual card base. And I will do the same for this, and I raised it up a little bit, just using some foam to the back side. I really like the mention on my card. I love this birthday. It's super large and dramatic, and it really makes this card stand out. And I started with my letters in the middle of the sentiment, or in the middle of the word, just to make sure that I get a good spacing between all of my letters. And then I'm adhering my panel down on top of this slim line card base. So I got some leftover pieces here. You can see there really are leftovers. There are some holes in it and stuff like that, but I wanted to create a second card here. I really love creating cards like this. It goes super fast, especially when you have already done all the work of cutting out all of the strips. So you can decide how you wanted to make the card, or sorry, the strips for this card go, but I wanted to go from pink to blue, and yeah, I think it looks really nice. You can see some of the pieces aren't wide enough, so I'm just cutting off the leftovers and a piece of the white card base later. So for doing that, I will use my modern embossed rectangles, and for this I will do the same thing. I cut my letters out of some foam and then out of some gold paper, glitter paper, just to give them some dimension, and then I will adhere it down to my card base when I'm done with all of this. So you can see here how everything looks, and then I will take some more adhesive. But this is really fun. These die sets, since they are an alphabet die set, they don't have a shadow piece for them, but I wanted a shadow just to make them stand out a little bit more on my background. So this is a trick that you can do. I'm just adhering them to a scrap piece of vellum, and then I will take my really sharp knife here, sorry, not knife, scissor, and just cut around all of my letters, and that makes it look like I had a shadow die. So that is a trick that you can do. I am doing this quite oftenly when dies don't have shadows. I think it's really nice, and if I'm stamping out the sentiment, I often take the time to cut around it as well, just to create that shadow. I think it looks really nice. So here we have it, our custom made shadow die and letters, and then we can also adhere all of this to our backside, or sorry, to our card front. And I also cut out birthday sentiment to complement the word, just popping that on top. And then I'm just playing around with how I want everything to look on the finished card, and then I'm gluing this to my card base, and then it's done. Time for the fun part, to embellish the cards, and I did that really quickly. And here is a close-up of our projects. I hope you enjoyed this video, and all the products that I'm using in this video will be linked down below. And until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye!